permits. Now, a good question when it comes to permits, because they can impact your carrying costs, is when should you pull them and when shouldn't you pull them? When should you? When shouldn't you? So let's talk about that, because there are some people, there are some people, I swear to God, I've seen investors do 20, 30 deals, never pull a permit. And I'm like amazed. I didn't get that far without being able to pull permits, but I did do a couple of deals early on without pulling them. And then there are some investors who pull permits on all deals. And I don't necessarily believe in that either, believe it or not. When you should pull them is when you're doing some type of heavy duty conversion. Some of you have heard me talk about co-living, where you shift a 3-bed, bath property into a 3-bed, 3-bath. If you're going to do something heavy duty like that, like I'm going to reconfigure this property, I'm restructuring this property, and I'm going to monetize it in a unique way, you better pull your permits. You want everything by the book. You want everything up to code. You want everything like easy peasy. If an inspector walks in and you're doing co-living, you're like, here's my paperwork. I pulled my permits, everything stamped by the city. Get out of my house. Like, I'm running the show. You can need the permits for that reason. There's also why you should pull them, or when you should pull them, if you need tax abatements. Many of these tax abatements, like Philadelphia has a 10-year tax abatement. There are many cities like this across the country. In order to qualify for a 10-year tax abatement or a 15-year tax abatement, you need proof of pulling permits. That's part of the submission process. So you don't want to not pull permits on a deal and then cut yourself out of 10 years of tax abatement. That would be very foolish, and it would be extremely costly to you. So there are some reasons to pull permits. If you're converting a property from a single family to a duplex, or a duplex to a triplex, you're doing some type of conversion, you need to pull permits. You need to timestamp that thing. You need to get the city in on those things. You can't be taking a single, turn it into a duplex with no permits. You're going to get jammed up by license and inspection at some point, and it's going to cost you big to solve it. I have a story I told on a ride along where a guy pulled a permit, maybe he shouldn't have, and it just jammed him up for maybe like a couple $100,000. So factoring in these things is very important. And this is another big value of mentorship. Somebody like me, who's done over 400 rehabs in the last decade, I have a lot of experience with this stuff and dealing with license and inspection. So I can help you to navigate those decisions a lot better than if you're just trying to figure it out on your own. And one mistake could cost you, I mean, it cost one guy $200,000. It was a $200,000 mistake. So these mistakes can be astronomical, which is why you don't really want to learn from the school of hard knocks. When you shouldn't pull them is if you have a single family, like an easy peasy, hey, we're going to go in, new flooring, retile the bathrooms, get rid of the cabinets, new countertop. If you're doing super cosmetic work, you really shouldn't waste time pulling permits. Not saying that the city might not want them, the municipality might not want them, but I'm just telling you, the carrying costs, when you get in the carrying costs and the timelines and you pull those permits, it might increase your carrying costs by a month, which is not tremendous, but it's like $3 grand, maybe $4 grand for the permits, then another $3 grand in carrying cost. And you're like, why the hell did I do that? I should have just ran the play. I would have been in and out much faster, and I wouldn't have had to waste money just giving it to the city. But you have to, once again, factor in even an easy permit on a single family could lead to a tax abatement, and that could be part of your process. So you want to just factor in those decisions. If it's me, 9 times out of 10, if this is a cosmetic, easy single family, we're not doing any type of conversion, or I'm doing cosmetics on a multifamily, a duplex, a triplex, but it's already legally being used. Legally, it's already set up. The city already knows it's a triplex. I might go in and do cosmetic work there and not necessarily bother with the permits. But these are the things you need to think about if you're going to pull them or not. You want to factor that in. If you're doing heavy conversion, always pull. Trust me on that, even though it's going to increase your costs, and then just factor in the additional carrying cost of pulling the permits.